Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking this or that skincare. I have a battle between two barrier repair serums from Skinfix and Peach and Lily. Now, both of these serums have a lot of similarities. They use a lot of similar ingredients like ceramides and cholesterol and fatty acids to repair the barrier. They're both creamy, moisturizing, but also hydrating serums, and they're both fairly expensive. So you may be wondering which one is the better choice for you, and that's exactly what today's video is all about. We're going to be deep diving both of these products, really getting into the nitty-gritty, and then finally comparing which one is best, this or that. So if you're so ready, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. Let's start with Skinfix Triple Lipid Collagen Activating Serum. This retails for $69 for 30 milliliter of product. Now let's dive into the ingredients here. Skinfix is marketing this product on the 9% of BL3 complex that this serum contains. Now BL3 is actually a patent pending lipid mixture that is exclusive to Skinfix. So they're saying that BL3 is a mixture of different skin identical lipids, peptides, and vitamins for the skin. The actual peptides that are contained in the formula, I don't find them to be super exciting. They're maybe not as recognizable to many of us, and I do believe that they're here more for their ability to help repair the skin, maybe soothe some irritation and inflammation, and overall help the formula penetrate into the skin a little bit more. I did find that this particular serum does contain a complex of lipids that goes under the trade name L22. So L22 is actually a mixture of different lipids that include squalane, tocopherol, which is vitamin E, as well as macadamia and jojoba seed esters. And so basically all of these lipids combined together help to mimic the lipid ratios of young skin. And that's really what helps to support the skin barrier, because you may know as our bodies age, they become less efficient at basically everything. Processes start to slow down, and that's where we start to see the aging occur on the skin. And one of the processes that slows down is the production of skin lipids. And that's why as you get older, you may, not everybody, but you may experience more dehydration or dryness on your skin. And that's just the aging of your body and the slowing down of the lipid production. So when you apply L22 on top of your skin, the mixture of lipids help to mimic the ratio of lipids that are found in younger, more resilient, more hydrated and firm skin with younger and stronger moisture barriers. You know, Skinfix has taken this and put their own spin on it, of course, but some really reliable information here about the particular lipids. The serum contains 3% of a polyglutamic acid complex. Now, this is a word that I always like to flag in my reviews because complex generally is referring to more than one ingredient, a complex of ingredients, and it usually does accompany a percentage claim. And so I always like to point out, while it's saying 3% polyglutamic acid complex, it's not likely that it's 3% of pure polyglutamic acid, but rather some other ingredients that bulk out that 3%. So let's maybe read it more like a 3% hydrating ingredient complex, with polyglutamic acid really taking the lead and the star here as one of the main humectants for the skin. So this is an ingredient that functions quite like hyaluronic acid, helps to attract and bind hydration into the skin, kind of like pulling that hydration a little bit deeper into the skin and really helping to relieve that dehydrated or depleted feeling in the skin. I think it's a real goodie. I think in certain instances it actually performs better than hyaluronic acid. And so there's a good amount in here. I'm not sure if it's 3%, but a good amount in here. And then we have 2% of niacinamide, good old niacinamide. Now 2% is actually the effective amount for niacinamide to help stimulate your skin's natural production of lipids, ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids, which, as I've already mentioned, you know, lipids are so important for the barrier health. Your body may be less efficient at producing its own as we get older, or your barrier may just be deficient due to maybe certain products that you're using in your skincare routine, environment, sometimes just dry air, seasonal changes, stress. Lots of things can affect our skin's moisture barrier. And what's nice about niacinamide is it actually helps our body's own natural process of creating those lipids. So the texture is a true cream type of texture, but it's definitely been balanced out and formulated in an elegant way to act in the middle of your skincare routine. And that can sometimes be one of the drawbacks for really creamy serum products. You still have a moisturizer and a sunscreen to put on maybe, right? And so if it gets really heavy or bulky right there in the middle of your routine, sometimes it just doesn't feel good. I feel like Skinfix has taken that into consideration. They've created a creamy serum, but it's not as heavy or bulky feeling as it may first look when you pump it out of the bottle. It feels very silky, emollient, but there is a rush of hydration. That's definitely the polyglutamic acid complex. So we feel that deeper hydration, but definitely lots of emolliency, creaminess, silkiness at the top of the skin. It feels very skin conditioning, very comforting, especially if your skin's feeling, really flaky and dry and raw. Just that creamy texture really does relieve the skin. Very good absorbency here. That's really the key with creamy serums, right? It can't sit on top of the skin and not absorb. It has to get in there. And this definitely does. Really, for being so emollient, I'm not seeing a lot of shine or grease on the top of my skin. It really just settles and absorbs in a really beautiful way, leaving your skin feeling softer and definitely more relieved. Now, as you may have noticed on the ingredients list, there are no fragrances here, right? No essential oils, no artificial fragrance, no fragrant compounds. But if you are familiar with Skinfix products, you know that they often do come with kind of like a plasticky type of smell. That's the raw skincare ingredients, and they're not doing anything to mask that or cover it up. And so it's just something to get used to. I know it's quite a turnoff for many people, and I think especially at a higher price point, it can be kind of surprising for something to smell sort of odd. I personally have gotten used to it. I prefer no fragrance in my products. It's one of those trade-offs, but I figured I would mention it because I know not everybody out there loves that strong plasticky smell. Now let's dive into Peach and Lily Rescue Party Barrier Restore Serum. This retails for $47 for 30 milliliter of product. And the composition and formulation here is fairly similar to Skinfix. I mean, there's lots of different ways to strengthen the barrier, but of course, lipids really are one of the most reliable ways to do that. And so Peach and Lily is really taking their lipids and then they're adding in their hydrators, and they're also bringing in that soothing element too with this particular serum. So the lipids that they're using here include 5 different types of ceramides. They're also using omega-3, 6, and 9 fatty acids, and that's the individual fatty acids that are added into the product. It's not derived from plant oil sources, so it's just straight up fatty acids for the skin, which I think is always a very good thing. And then they're also using phytosphingosine, which is actually found in ceramides, so it is a really great lipid that helps to support the skin barrier. So Peach and Lily is using a variety of different humectant or hydrating ingredients to bring more watery replenishment deep into the skin. And this is definitely one of those symptoms of a weak or damaged moisture barrier. That's dehydration, right? When your barrier is weak, it really does allow for the hydration deeper within your skin to escape out of your skin. And that's where you get that dry and tight, depleted feeling truly, right? Deep within your skin. Or sometimes it feels like your skincare doesn't last. Your morning routine, and then by 2 in the afternoon, you're just itching to put more xincare on because of that depleted feeling in your skin. So I love that they're using a variety of different humectants in here, like panthenol, we have hyaluronic acid, xylitol, as well as ectoin. Now, if you caught my recent trending skincare ingredient video where I featured ectoin and talked about how this is actually rising in popularity and a lot of new skincare releases, you learned all about ectoin. But maybe you didn't catch that video. I would definitely recommend that you check it out if you're interested. But ectoin is a really interesting ingredient that is multi-beneficial. It's a very strong antioxidant for the skin. It actually helps to protect from the damage from UV, but it also helps to protect from the damage from environmental stressors like pollution. Not only does it protect from all those stresses, but it also deeply hydrates the skin, but creates a hydration shell within the skin that really helps to hold the hydration in place and really help to address the deep signs of dehydration within the skin. So this isn't just attracting and binding water, but there's a certain element to Ectoin that helps to create this shell and really flood the skin with a lot of hydration. Get in between every little cell and flood it with lots of hydration. So it creates that hydrated feeling that lasts a lot longer. Peach and Lily definitely embraces their Korean roots, and they're always using the different types of extracts that you would find in K-beauty products. So here they're using mugwort and heartleaf, which are really one of my favorite anti-inflammatory ingredients. You know, I've loved mugwort for years and always talk about that mugwort effect on irritated skin. It just makes your skin feel so good. And heartleaf is another one of those ingredients that really helps to soothe inflammation on the skin without stripping the skin of moisture. They've also included 0.8% of colloidal oatmeal, which we know is a very effective skin soother, great for irritated or itchy skin. They've also included calcium into the serum, and I found this interesting. I hadn't really learned that much about calcium and skincare, but there is some research that suggests that skin that is deficient in calcium actually does lead to a weak or damaged moisture barrier in the long run, that it's actually a somewhat important mineral for the skin when it comes to skin health and barrier health. So they've included some calcium in here as well. Interesting, right? A little bit of a newer concept, I think, in barrier care, but they really backed it up with some of the more effective and well-known, steps that you take for barrier care, like all of the lipids and everything, and the ceramides, right? So overall, really interesting ingredient formulation here. And this serum does not contain any artificial fragrance, fragrant compounds, essential oils, or drying forms of alcohol. So the texture is creamy, but it's actually quite runny. It's a lot lighter than Skinfix's rather stiff cream serum texture. So there's definitely a big difference here just in the way that the textures perform. As you get this onto your skin, you're going to feel a lot of watery hydration that dives very deep into the skin. You know, I always use the word replenishing when I'm trying to talk about or trying to describe the hydration that doesn't just sit on top of your skin, but really gets down to the deep source of dehydration. The humectants that they're using here are really working hard and diving deep to really replenish the skin. And then you're getting that milky creaminess on top that's still very breathable, that's still very light. It absorbs really well into the skin. And another serum that's not sitting on top of your skin. You don't get that rich, greasy layer that you can just wipe right off of your face because it just won't absorb. You know what I'm saying? This is not like that. This absorbs beautifully because it is so hydrating. It's so plumping. It almost feels more like a thick, milky toner would rather than like a cream serum would. You know what I'm saying? Like it just has a lighter, more hydrating appeal to it while still giving your skin a good amount of moisture, while still kind of comforting and soothing all those dry areas, getting deep to the dehydration, absorbing inside of your skin and not leaving it all shiny and greasy at the surface. I really don't detect much of a smell with this one. Again, there's no fragrances here. Nothing is masking, but there's just not a strong raw skincare smell to this one like I was detecting with Skinfix. So this or that, ooh, this is a toughie because I have to say both of these perform beautifully for barrier repair and just barrier health overall. They are both really fantastic products. So it's really actually hard for me to pick one. I personally have a clear winner, and I think there's a few differences here that will really kind of make or break one of the products for you personally. They're just different enough. So let's talk about Skinfix first, because this is the lucky serum that got to heal my skin after my COVID infection. So as I shared with you back at the beginning of January, I did get COVID, and I'm pretty sure it was the very first time I had COVID because it hit me super duper hard. I was like knocked down on my butt for quite a while, and it really lingered, with me too. That it's a nasty thing. I wouldn't recommend it. But anyways, you know what comes with the territory when you're sick, right? It's when you're blowing your nose a lot, you are going to get very raw, irritated skin around your nose. And that's exactly what happened. Like this triangle area was not happy. My skin was so raw, inflamed, red, really flaky and peeling. Like, I mean, I would like just touch my skin and it just did not feel good because it was just so sensitive and it was just rubbed so raw. And so I felt like that was the perfect time to start, incorporating this serum into my routine. Once I started to feel better, had more energy for skincare, I started using this, and I very specifically was hoping that this was going to help heal that irritation and that weak barrier, especially in that specific area. And I was really surprised at how fast it worked. Within just a few applications, the flakiness was going away. Within about maybe 5 days, maybe a week, that skin, that rawness, really was gone, almost completely. I mean, within a week, my skin was feeling so much stronger. Within 2 weeks, my skin was feeling great. You know what I mean? So I was very, very impressed with not only how this worked for my skin, but I would say how fast it worked for my skin. But that's the thing about skincare that impresses you immediately. You don't have the full experience just yet. I would say after week 2, I noticed that my skin was starting to get very congested while I had this in my skincare routine, morning and nighttime. And so, that was the one thing where I was I think this may not be a everyday type of serum for my personal skin. So I am leaning very dry right now in the winter, but I do have combination skin. I do still produce oil on my skin, and I am congestion prone. And so I think this was just a little bit too much lipids, just a little bit too much emolliency once my skin had gotten nice and strong again. I think it was just too much for me. So I did discontinue use, and within a few days that congestion did go down. So I do want to put that warning out there for those who may be prone to a little bit too much emolliency, maybe prone to some congestion, or maybe acne prone. This may not be the very perfect thing for you, but I'm really, seeing this serum as that very strong healer for very, very, very depleted, deficient moisture barriers. You need the most help. I was very, very impressed with how fast this worked, how it really helped to mend up the skin, and it helped to address the multiple symptoms, the irritation, the inflammation, the rawness, the flakiness, the dehydration, not just helping to fortify the barrier, but really helping to soothe the skin and bring relief in the process. So now let's talk about Peach and Lily, because after, I'd let my skin kind of calm down from the congestion, kind of got back to a baseline, I was starting to feel more of that dehydration again in my skin, all over, really. It wasn't just that area. That area had healed up, but just my skin in general was feeling the dryness of that deep late winter type of feel. Our weather has been fluctuating quite a bit, but there was a very severe cold snap at the end of January that I think really hit my skin quite hard. And my dehydration and that skin tightness, I could feel my barrier was just, it needed that TLC. And having taken the Skinfix out of my routine, I was missing that little extra boost. And so I decided to take the opportunity to finally buy the Peach and Lily serum, because I've been getting asked about this quite a bit since it was released, I think just a few months ago, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. And I was like, this kind of feels like the right time to test something like this. So I ordered it from Ulta, and I was really pleasantly surprised when I first pumped it out of the bottle to try out the texture. And I was really pleasantly surprised to see that creaminess, but that runniness, because that indicated to me that it was going to be a lighter expression of a creamy barrier serum. And having just come off of that congestion, I knew that's what my skin was needing. And so just right there, the texture hooked me. I loved how it layered with the rest of my products. That may have also been a contributing factor to Skinfix congesting my skin. I always say it as a warning, but not as a done deal. I'm not saying that you're gonna get congested from Skinfix. Please know that I also use facial oil and other emollient types of lotions and creams in my routine that work really well for me, but it might have just been too much overall. And so adding in Peach and Lily was that really nice middle layer for me. I love how this, absorbs into my skin. I love the hydration of this. So my personal this or that winner, honestly, between the two is Peach and Lily, because for me personally, Peach and Lily feels like, for me individually, this feels like the type of serum that I could use at any time. It's in any season. I definitely could see myself using this in the summer if I felt like it was the right fit for my skin at the time. Texture wise, I'm not afraid that this is going to congest my skin even when I'm more oily and it's more hot and humid. I'm not that concerned about the texture because it just has that flexibility to work in multiple different seasons. That's an important factor to me. I also just really like the price of this compared to Skinfix. It's about $20 less. That's always a big consideration, right? Because neither one of these products, do I have to say, like, neither one of these is a budget pick by any means. But I just personally feel slightly more comfortable at that $47 price point than I do with the $69 price point. So that was also kind of like another thing that really brought Peach and Lily up in my mind. But I have to say, like, Skinfix blew me away at its ability to heal very, very raw, vulnerable, and damaged skin. And that should not be ignored, right? So in my this or that, I would say go for Skinfix if your skin is very, very dry. If it's very raw, it's very irritated, you know that your moisture barrier is like, it's donezo. You know what I mean? Like, it's fried. If you have a very damaged or very weak moisture barrier that needs to be healed and you're looking to do it in a very effective formula and you're maybe looking to do it somewhat quickly, because aren't we all, right? It's a very annoying feeling. Dry skin, very damaged barrier. This is a very, very good barrier serum. But maybe you are looking for a barrier serum just gonna kind of keep yourself level, right? Like how I was saying earlier, you know, my skin wasn't raw or damaged. It was just a little bit dehydrated. It's just a little bit weak. It needed a pick me up. It needed something to keep it in a good, healthy state. Something that I could use in like many different seasons, in many different ways, like an everyday barrier support serum. That's when I would say go for Peach and Lily. I would also suggest this if you do have a slightly more combo or oily skin type. If, as I mentioned, if you're acne prone or congestion prone, this might be the safer bet for you over the Skinfix formula. Just based on my personal experience, it's not a guarantee. But this is definitely a little bit lighter on the emolliency, and I think it's going to suit a more combination or oily skin type a lot better than a dry skin type, which is going to benefit from Skinfix. Oh my goodness, that was so hard because I legitimately love both of those products so much, and they both help my skin, but in different instances. So I hope that sharing my experience and really deep diving into both of these products helped you make a choice between one of these two products. And I'm curious if you've been thinking about these products or if you already have tried them. Let me know in the comments all your thoughts. If this video did help you out, but you haven't hit subscribe and you made it to the end of the video, that's super rare on YouTube, please, before you go, hit subscribe. We have a thing going. Let's keep it going, especially if you love deep diving into gentle skincare products, deep diving into ingredients. That's what my channel is all about. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for being here with me. I love you so much. I cannot believe that we have made 32 episodes of this or that. And as I always say, it's not possible without you. So thank you. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.